Alright, so I made a video on the what the fuck is it? It's called the Memor, okay? The Memor, or the Memor, whatever you call it, okay? This is Datalogic's slightly bigger handheld. Okay, so you know they got their tiny one, that being the Memor. I think it's actually probably pronounced Memor. Then you got the mid-sized one, that being this handheld, the Skorpio. You know, they even put in a with the camera. There we go. You see, it even has a little scorpion on there on the top right side. There's a little Skorpio. Yeah, and then they have the largest one, that being their Falcon, and I don't have that, but yeah. So this is the X3. That one is also the X3. So these are both the 3rd generation models. So this thing would have been released sometime along with the Memor X3 around 2013, I think. So they're really old, because 2013 was actually over a decade ago. What the fuck? 2013 was a long time ago. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, this is the 28 key variant. So there's several key variants of these devices. This is the 28 key one. So yeah, there are some differences between this handheld and then the Memor. Obviously in the exterior and in the size. One of the more subtle differences is the fact that the scan button color is like a less desaturated orange than compared to on the Memor, where it's like a bright orange. Again, nothing that really matters there. But you know, this thing has no side triggers, which also doesn't really make sense. The Memor has side triggers. This thing has no side triggers. And I think that is because Datalogic kind of expects that you would want to use the pistol grip. So this thing has the ability where you are able to exchange pistol grips, like whether you want to use a pistol grip or no pistol grip. So there's this little mounter in the back, this little screw mount. So that's where you would attach the pistol grip to. So obviously you would remove the hand strap. I don't have the pistol grip, and nor do I plan on getting one, but you know, obviously you will have to remove the hand strap, and then you will attach the pistol grip from there, screw it in, and then the pistol grip is essentially a mechanism that pushes this little orange button in the back of the device. So you see it's covered, this orange button, which is the back trigger, is covered by the hand strap. But you know, obviously the pistol grip is going to push this button, therefore activating the scan engine. So yeah, I'm assuming they would have thought that you would have been using it as a gun or whatever the fuck, you know. So that, and when you use it as a gun, you wouldn't need sight triggers, because you're going to be using it as a gun. It's like the MC 9000 series of handhelds by Zebra. So you know, those ones, they don't use sight triggers. Only the much older straight shooter variants from Symbol, which those ones didn't use, obviously weren't guns. Those was the same brick style straight shooter as this thing. So yeah, externally it follows basically almost the same shit. You know, it has the same black casing, same orange scan button, slightly different color though. You know, same gray, not green, same gray numerical buttons, black navigation and function keys. You know, there's your little toggle buttons, the yellow and the blue, same thing. As for functions, Strangely enough, this thing carries less functions on the keypad. So while the Memor has a function where you're able to at least call the start menu and call up the calibration, and you're able to, and you have a mouse emulator as well on the Memor. This thing doesn't have any of that. Why? I don't know why. Hell, it even has a key light button in Memor. This thing does not have a key light button. You may think this one with the little light bulb, so you know you hit the escape and the blue button, and you would think that will probably activate the key light. Fuck no. That disables the backlight. I don't know why, but why they would carry such a retarded function like that. So they would kind of expect you to use these keys, the F1 to F5 keys, and then by extension the F6 to F10 keys if you press the blue toggle. And this is where you're able to actually program the keys, but the programmer that they have set inside it won't let you specifically set more other functions that would have already been on the Memor's keypad. Again, it's fucking weird. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know why the hell they would do it. I don't know why they would do such a thing on the smaller handheld, and then on this thing they do it differently. Hell, even the BSP, even the CE BSP is different. So you would think that since it's from Datalogic, is gonna use the same thing, same BSP. It's gonna have the same utilities. It's gonna have the same look, style, all that bullshit. Not really. It's there. Like it's still there, but there are some differences between this BSP and then on the Memor's BSP that doesn't really make all that much sense. Yeah. So you can see, you know, that's the bullshit regulation label. Over here is the scan engine, and this is not an imager, this is a laser. So I think this thing uses a symbol SE955. I think so. I think it uses that, either that or an SE950. Both scan engines are almost identical, but they are still different enough that you cannot exchange them. So, you know, it's bullshit. One thing I didn't mention on the Memor that this thing does have, and along with the Memor, is Datalogic's bullshit green spot. So, you know, whenever you scan a barcode, a green spot emits. So, what is that? Well, it's supposed to signify a good read. So as if when you scan it, the beep wasn't enough, you get to see a little green spot when you scan the device, indicating a successful decode. So, yeah, I again, some bullshit that really isn't necessary, but, you know, Datalogic really likes to put it on their spec sheets and manuals a lot. You can see that this thing, since it's big enough, it does not use a pick stylus. Instead, it uses the typical pen stylus. And, you know, there's the speaker, there's the battery. So, you know, there's a little battery engage. This is, you know, obviously another label. So it shows off all the other regulation garbage. IKEA, what the fuck? IKEA. IKEA. Pretty sure that has nothing to do with IKEA. Manufactured in April 2015. Huh. Now there is another gripe with this thing. You will notice that there is a little rubber flap here, and it shows up as DC in. If I open the little flap, come on, there we go. It exposes a micro USB port. Now you would think that with this micro USB port, you will be able to not only charge it, but exchange data. Well, you'll be dead fucking wrong on that. Because this port can only charge. There is no data transfer. Which makes no fucking sense. Because on the Memor has the same micro USB. You see there, you see the micro USB? Yeah. That can not only charge it, but it could also do data transfer. But on this device, it can only charge. And they state that in the manual a lot. You can only charge it, and that is true. You can only charge it. If I hook it up to my computer, it's only going to charge it. ActiveSync will not see it. The computer is not going to detect an actual USB host or anything like that. You know, USB slave, I mean. Because this port is only for power. That's it. So at least it only gives out the convenience that I could charge this thing like a phone. But yeah, you know. Then of course on the top you have your little indicator lights. So, you know, those are for scanning, charging. I think the other is like for Bluetooth connectivity and wireless. Then there's a little headset piece, and then your power button up on the top. Same as in the Memor. So yeah, let me see if I can wake it up. You see, there's the desktop. You see, it looks the same. It looks the same. It looks the same like on the Memor. So you would naturally assume that, okay, well, it's gonna be all the same. Wrong. Because let me show you. So let me position this shit more correctly. There we go. There's obviously gonna be a flicker on the goddamn display. Okay. So yeah. So at first it looks the same. Let me show you the first difference, that being the power option. You will notice, if you remember on the Memor, the power properties, power panel is very simple. It only shows you the remaining power of the main battery. That's it. That's all it shows you. So when you click on this icon, it's only going to show you that simplified UI. It's not going to show you anything else. It's not going to show you an estimated runtime or any of that bullshit. And upon that, it only goes by increments as well. So it's only going to show it from 80. No, it's only going to show it from like 100 to 80 to 60 to 40. You know, that type of stuff. It's not going to show it off exact. The Scorpio does it very differently. You will notice that it shows you everything. So it shows you the remaining power, that being is 86%. It shows you the backup battery. I mean the health of the bullshit battery itself. It says good. It shows up the estimated runtime. So it's showing up that it could run for 9 hours. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm obviously never going to be using this thing for 9 hours straight. And then at the very bottom, it shows you that the backup battery is good. So already, there's more information than how it is on the Memor. Now over here is where you can set your timers, and then alerts. And then it gets even stranger, because you will notice that it uses the same CPU. So it uses the same specifications under the hood. It uses the same what the fuck do you call it? It uses the same Marvel CPU, that being a PX310. And it uses the same capacity of RAM, that being 256 megabytes of RAM. But the clock speed of the PX310 is different. On the Memor is 800 megahertz. On this thing is 624. So it is downclocked on this device than compared to the Memor. Which makes no fucking sense. Why the fuck would it be downclocked on a bigger device? Again, I don't know what the hell's going on there, but yeah, you know. Then you got your memory, your device name, then the typical copyright bullshit. Go down settings. You can see some of the icons are a bit different. For example, to configure the wedge, the data wedge, it's a completely different panel. I don't know why it's different, but it is. It uses the same gesture, the scrolling gesture. You will notice that some of the more settings are more, what do you call it, more detailed. you know, you get some different options too. You will notice that the floppy disk with the shades is not here, but you do get a different icon for persistent registry settings. So again, these are different changes within the BSP. Why is different? I have no idea why. But yeah, over here you notice where you would assign your buttons. There's the same BS over here. Over here I can actually change the screen rotation. Yeah, so you know, it doesn't really make sense, but that's how this thing operates though. You can see it uses the same submit wireless client and that bullshit, but yeah. You know, we got media player, WordPad. I can launch WordPad. You know, do I have anything here that I could scan? I have this water bottle. You know. You see there's the green spot. Get the fuck out of my way. So, you know, you could obviously scan. It uses the same, it's the same shit, okay? Like I don't like for the OS itself, that being Windows CE 6, you know, Windows Embedded CE, Windows Embedded Compact, you know, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's the same bullshit. Windows CE, it's the same OS. If you've seen Windows CE, I would say this point several times because this has to be made. If you have seen one version of Windows CE, you have seen all versions of Windows CE. They're all the same. There's no difference between, like, you're gonna find some slight differences between each BSP depending upon the OEM. Like, I already showed off a tiny bit, but at the core of it all, Windows CE is Windows CE. It's the same bullshit, really. It's really almost the same thing. So, you know, I go here, you're gonna see it's the same. It's the same shit. You know, it carries the same programs. Even the fucking desktop layout is the same. So yeah, task switcher, there's a SIP, you know, you still get the transcriber here, but yeah, so that's the thing. That's the Skorpio. So why would Datalogic, why would they cripple this device but not cripple the other one? I couldn't tell you, to be honest, but I guess that's the Datalogic way then. I don't know. There's a little conspiracy theory right there. Why the fuck would Datalogic fuck up their own devices? Why, oh why, oh why? Yeah. As for Windows CE behavior, is the same shit. It's not like it's a Panasonic where it's all funky and weird. This thing is, you know, your cold boot is a cold boot, your warm boot is a warm boot. Like it's a Windows CE device. It's not that special. So yeah,